Hi everyone, welcome to episode 45 of Annijuuti Knits. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Annijuuti Knits. This is primarily a knitting podcast. I talk about my knitting and my designs, and you're most welcome. If you are new here, my name is Anniina. I come to you from Finland, from the west coast of Finland, where I live with my family, and yeah, this is where all the magic happens. Today I don't have a ton of time, but I wanted to give you a little update on my doings, because otherwise you will have to wait for quite some time. And I thought this is now a good time to share a few things and then move forward with my day. So let's get started. If you've been here before, you might be able to tell that I had a little haircut. I wanted to utilize all these beautiful curls before I go to the gym and ruin everything. So I wanted to utilize this little small window that I have to film and to update you on things. I am wearing my only finished object, and it was already quite near to the finish line last time we talked. I have some crumbs I just ate. So this t-shirt is my own design, and it now has a name. This t-shirt is called the Tankar Tee, and that was a suggestion by a viewer, so thank you very much. It was the perfect name for this tee. If you're not from around here, you probably don't know what Tankar means. And Tankar is an island close to where I live. And because most of the suggestions were nautical themed, there was a lot of sea suggestions, and I think it is that vibe. And Tankar, that island, has a lighthouse. You have to go there by boat, obviously, because it's an island, and that's an old fisherman's village, which now is just a touristy place to go in my town. So that's why it resonated with me so much, and I wanted to choose that name for this tee. This tee is knit in drop spell, and this is the navy blue one, obviously. And yeah, I will show you, I will put a picture this way. I'll put a picture here to show you properly how it looks on. This one is the size 6, and it has more or less like 15 centimeters of positive ease for me, and I really like the loose fit. This is quite drapey fabric. It has like this garter detail on the top, also at the back, and then some ribbing on the shoulders and neckline. So yeah, this is now currently being tested, and I will release this pattern probably end of May, beginning of June, because I still have to do the finish test run, and I haven't finalized the finished version yet. So I am in the middle of the, what's the word? Translation. I'm in the middle of the translation process with my finished one, because I always write my patterns in English first. That's an easier knitting language for me. So I do tend to write my patterns in English, and then I will translate them into Finnish. So yeah, that's how I roll. And the The test knit started a week ago, just before Easter, and the Finnish test knit will start this week. So we will be looking for a probably early June release for this tee. But yeah, that's what's been happening with this one. I actually did start a second sample as well, but I will show you that a little bit later, because I want to update you on a few other things. Unlike I said last time, I did not finish my portside sweater, which was only missing one sleeve. I have probably done like a row or a round or two for the sleeve, so I'm not going to show it to you today because I don't see the point. And I also said I might be finishing the scrappy leggings, which were just like not too far from finishing, and I also didn't touch on those either. So I've been just working on my shawl. Last couple of weeks have been really busy at work. I work in a optical store here in my town, and it has been quite busy before Easter and also now this week. So yeah, I haven't really had a lot of brain space, to be honest, and I've been feeling very tired, and there has been one project that I have enjoyed working on a lot, and I will show you that next. Last time I did show you this project. This is a shawl that I'm working on, no pattern, just from the top of my head. I have made notes, so if I think that it is interesting enough, and if you think it's interesting enough, feel free to comment below. I might turn it into a pattern at some point, but it's basically just a triangular shawl, very straightforward, and it has this little lace detail. So this is where I was at last time, and this is where I'm now. So this is this shawl is made from linen quill. My friend Mega from Skeins of Dreams sent this to me. This is the colorway Pink Honey, and I have just started the second ball. So I started from the long edge, and I'm decreasing on this side, and I hope I think I cast on 275 stitches perhaps, maybe. I'm hoping that the 3 balls that I have is enough, or 3 skeins. It should be enough. But yeah, it's mostly garter stitch, and it's just the best thing to work on when you're tired, because it doesn't really require. This is such an easy lace panel. It's like these little shells. I don't know how the lighting, now the sun is turning, I'm hoping it doesn't interrupt us. But anyway, it is this beautiful lace panel going on the other edge, and here is the long edge, and the triangle will be forming this way. So yeah, that's what it is. I have really been enjoying this. This yarn is quite nice to work with. I haven't worked with linen quill before, but I get the hype. It is a very popular yarn, especially for the half and half wrap. But even though Mega said that now I have yarn for half and half, not my jam. But this is this is nearly like half and half. I think, well, it's pretty much the same. It's like a half of the half and half wrap, so with some lace detail. But truly, it has been such a joy to work with. I've been gravitating towards this project more than any other of my projects. It takes a long time. I'm working on this project with the 3.5mm needles, so it's quite a lot of knitting for now. But yeah, it's the rows are getting shorter and it's getting quicker to work on, and I'm in no rush because I'm just enjoying this project very much. I'm actually planning on going to Helsinki next week. We are going with my husband for a little weekend getaway, and I am meeting up with a Instagram friend, Selma. Selma from the Little Big Knits. She's coming to Finland, and we have a date. So I'm expecting to taking this project to Helsinki with me because I can see this could be a perfect travel knit with a lot of knitting, and it's quite lightweight to carry around. So that was something that you already had seen. Another project that you had seen was my socks. And I haven't finished these socks yet, but I have been slowly working on them. They've been living in my handbag. And like I said, work has been very busy, so I haven't even felt like knitting on my breaks, on my lunch breaks, because I've been just so busy. But yeah, these are the socks that I'm making. These are from Louhittaren Luola, Hallatar base, and the colorway is called Kettu, which means fox. And I have made the heels. There is this garter heel flap and the French turn, and I'm not very following any specific pattern. I'm just going from the top of my head. There's also a little contrast stripe here on the cuff, and yeah, I think I had just done like a little bit of the leg last time I showed these, so they've been going slowly but surely, and I think they will be done at some point. But yeah, those were the socks that I've been working on. And the next three things I'm going to show you, I have not shown you before. And yeah, it was weird. I have actually been a little bit sick, not like a whole lot, but a week and a half ago I had some fever. I was home for a day, and I did start a new project. And if you follow me on Instagram, which is Annijuuti Knits, if you follow me on there, you have probably seen it pop up a couple of times, because I have posted 2 times this project. So let's have a look. And my project is all tangled up like usually. So here, this is another zero waste sweater. This is for my niece, because she's the one that actually wears my knits from all the kids that are around me. So I'm gladly making stuff for her. And I had these pinks and purples that are definitely not my jam, and I wanted to use all the scraps to utilize them, and this is what it's looking like. I was running out of pink scraps, so I had to take a very bright pink on the cuffs, and I'm not the biggest fan of this harsh shift in this palette, but what can I say? I'm using like really like the tiniest things. I did I did wind my scraps into 2 balls so that I would have enough for each sleeve and so on. So I still have these. And here's the ones that are attached. I'm actually alternating here on the second sleeve. I still have a little bit of the light pink left. This is from my Lotus Lake socks. And yeah, I am shifting colors by alternating rows, because I think that way I can get the most even transition. And because also like here it was quite harsh. I didn't really have a plan when I started. I just had like a small amount of the purple left, or the lilac, and I really wanted to use it, and I thought maybe to use it in the beginning because the circumference is then smaller and then it goes further. But if I would now start this again, I would start with the purple and leave this white beige bit out. But it is what it is, and I quite like this, even though it's transitioning from warm to cool to warm again. So here on the ribbing it has like this peachy color, and yeah, sorry for the clicking of the needles. But I think I did my head is like few steps ahead, and I can't really I can't really produce words. Like I was saying, I was sick for a day and I started this project, and I think I did make the whole body in 1 day or 2. And then I did pick up the sleeve, and I think I worked on the sleeve on the weekend. So I think I did the body and 1 sleeve in 4 days. And then I stopped for a week because that's what you do. I lost interest. That's usually what happens. I'm on the finish line and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. So on Monday, today's Wednesday, it's the 12th of April, and Monday evening I decided finally to pick up the sleeve stitches. I was just picking up under the arm, and I thought that if I have it on the needle, then I'm more likely to actually do some knitting on it. So I'm actually really close of finishing. I'm working with 5 or 5.5 millimeter. It's 5.5 millimeter. I'm holding 2 fingering weight scraps together, or fingering weight merinos, and there's actually also some woollier sock yarn, but I'm always holding it with merino for a softer outcome. So yeah, I am just, here are my markers for the decreases. So I'm this close. I'm this close of finishing this project. I'm not going to give this to her before fall, I think, because I really want to make one for his brother. My sister has 2 kids, and I've made a lot of sweaters for my niece, but not so much for my nephew. So I will be sure to make him one of these as well. His favorite color is orange, and I think I still have some orange leftovers, and we will get a sweater for him too. There is no pattern for this. I was actually just using the, what's the name for it? Rebecca from the Creabea podcast, she had this raglan raglan episode, and she was mentioning about this website. I have it linked in the description because I can't now remember what's the name of it, but you can just put the chest measurements and your gauge, and it will create, or what's the word? It will just give you the stitch counts that you have to go for. It's like a formula that you can make your own raglan sweaters. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work for kids wear. It suggested me to have like 44 stitches on the collar, which I didn't do. I did because I've done these before. I had a rough idea how many stitches to do for the collar, and I just used what I knew, and then the rest of the way I did follow the formula that it was given. So anyways, that's something that I've been working on. It's very close to being finished, and I assume next time we see each other it will be finished, but you never know with me. So it's always a surprise. You get what you get, but that's how we roll around here. But yeah, those were those. And then I mentioned already that I started another Tankar Tee, and if you've been here for a while, you may know that I am in a bit of a yarn buying ban. I am not planning on buying any yarn until the Jyväskylä Knit Festival in July, and I have succeeded, although I did have a little caveat to that, because I am definitely purchasing yarn if I need it for a pattern, because there's no point not buying yarn for my patterns, because that's my job, so that doesn't count. But I'm not buying yarn or purchasing yarn just because. So I did have drop spell, but I only had 3 balls of the white and 3 balls of green. And these are just color numbers. This is color 1 and color 10. This is color 10 and this is color 1. And yeah, so my plan is to make the size 1 for our 10-year-old. It will have the same amount of positive ease for her than this one has for me. So I thought, why not? I was struggling to have the testers for the smallest and the largest size, so I did have to modify a little bit. I did plan it because I have a sketch of this this t-shirt. Bear with me, I am, I'm rushing. So I have a sketch. I have drawn this on a computer, or actually on my tablet, the sketch for this pattern, for the schematics, and I did color the schematics picture to have an idea how I want to work. And I decided to work in stripes. I am making the size 1, so this is the shoulder. So I'm having this upper ribbing in green, and then I will have a white stripe with the garter. In the front, it's obviously a little bit narrower here in the front, and I will have the stripes this wide. So I have a 7.5 centimeter stripe, and the sequence will continue being the same. So I have the green on top, I have the white, green, white, green, white, and then the ribbing in green. It should be good, and I have enough yarn for that. I have 6 balls, and that's enough. So I was planning on doing this during the Easter holidays when my stepdaughter was here. She lives in another city. She goes to school there, and she comes here on holidays and every other weekend. So she's not home all the time, unfortunately. So I wanted to try it on for her when she's here, but I got distracted and I was working on something else. I will show you in a very I will show it to you very soon. But I did manage to model the back piece on her, and it looked like it's going to fit perfectly. I took some measurements of her arms and of her chest, so I think I should be good going forward with that if and when I feel like working on it. So I'm planning on making that sample during this test period, and I also have yarn for white version for myself, which is a different yarn. I showed it last time, so you can go and have a look if you want. But yeah, one more project and then we are done. This is going to be a little bit of shorter episode today because the time crunch, and I really wanted to catch you up on these things before so that you don't have to wait for too long for a new video. It's been one of those days. Yeah, so one last thing, and again, if you follow me on Instagram, you have already seen it. If you have seen my stories, you have already seen it, because I was flying through the start of this project, and here it is. Ta-da-da-da! It's a Ranunculus. It's a little bit of a summery one. It shows up quite yellow on the screen, but it's actually not very yellow. It's more of a browny. Well, you might be able to tell that it's marled. And that's because I suddenly had an idea during Easter holidays. I had an idea. I had 4 balls of Sandnesgarn Tunline, and I was thinking that it's just so thin that it takes forever. With 4 balls, you can't really make anything unless you are only holding it single. So I wanted to pair this up with something that I had in stash, and I didn't really have anything in this color or anything that I could think of. But then I was thinking, if I'm going to just throw all the rules out of the window and just go nuts, and I went nuts. This is Wool Knit British wool, and this is the colorway Harvest Yellow. That's why it's coming across very yellow on the screen. In real life, it's more brown. And yeah, I think we shouldn't restrict ourselves with all the rules, what you should, what you shouldn't do. There are no rules in knitting. You can do whatever you want. I did swatch. I washed the swatch. I felt the fabric. I think it was fine. And I don't mind the color combo. It's kind of fun. It's these green tones and these orangey or these peachy tones, and yeah, I was flying through the yoke. I did the raglan increases. I did have to do a little bit of a sweater math because the original gauge is like 14 stitches and I have 17 stitches. So I did have to do a little bit of math. I did the short rows just on the back, and I went further to the front than the pattern suggested, because they are quite like deep and narrow short rows. So I came like more traditionally over the shoulders with my short rows, and I think the fit it's quite nice. And then I made one sleeve. I actually already did the ribbing for the sleeve. I did this twisted or half twisted rib also on the sleeve. I didn't try it on. And the sleeve was too short and too loose. So I ripped it back. I ripped the whole ribbing away. I didn't do any decreases for the sleeve because I thought that it would work. Well, newsflash, it didn't. So I had to make some decreases. I did add another, I think 3 centimeters, and I did 3 sets of decreases along the way, so that when I'm now making the ribbing, I wanted it to be like an elbow length, not a t-shirt length, but like all the way to the elbow. So I think it needs to be quite form-fitting, and that's why I wanted to rip it out immediately, and so that it doesn't then sit in the corner forever. But I didn't feel like making the whole ribbing situation again, so I just attached the yarn back into the body, because I stopped originally after finishing one ball of these. So I went back to the body, and now I haven't done much, just 3 centimeters or so. And I think I'm just gonna knit on the body during this week, and then we'll see. I have been keeping this project next to my knitting chair. This is my knitting chair, and yeah, it's been nice to have the cone on the floor and just to pull from the cone. But because of that, it's not very portable, a portable project, because it's just well, I'm not Amy Palko. I'm not traveling with my cones. But anyway, those were all the projects that I've been working on. Most of my knitting hours have been going into the shawl, and even though the marled sweater or the scrappy sweater was almost done, it has been a very quick knit with a with quite big needles, and yeah, I have just been enjoying knitting as you should. And I also have few yarny things that have come to my life, and one of them is a box of Norwegian wool, and I will actually show you. We probably all know, or you probably all know, Inga from the Knitting Traditions. We did a little yarn swap. We are part of the same podcasters group chat here on, not here, on Instagram. And we have a knit night every now and again. And we were talking about our favorite yarns with Inga. And I offered to send her some Finnish wool, my favorite wools, to try, and she was up for a little stash exchange. So we did. She asked if I have something that I would like to try, and I wanted to try Rauma Finul because she always talks about that, and I never tried it. So I got some colors of Rauma, Rauva Finul, and I did have some other Norwegian wools. I'm not going to try to pronounce these things because too hard. There's Hillesvåg Tinde. She also talks about this a lot. Oop, this way. These are just the natural colors, and then I got some, maybe this was Tinde too, no? No, this is Hillesvåg sock yarn, and we were talking about how this is a stash exchange. It doesn't need to be on skeins, so this was already caked up, and I really don't mind that. And then she had some Rauma Vandre. I don't quote me on that. I have no idea how to pronounce that. And then there was some Petite Mandarin or Mandarin Petite by Sandens Garn. So yeah, some Norwegian goodies. I did keep them in this box because I really wanted to show you that. I have a feeling that there will be a colorwork cardigan in my future. I have been planning on that for, I don't know, 2 years now. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen at some point. Probably not here, or probably not now. Oh goodness. Okay, stay where you are. But yeah, I think I'm going to use, I have actually, this feels pretty much the same than the Finnish wool, that I have some of these similar thicknesses at my stash, in my stash. So I'm probably going to pair my Finnish wools with the Norwegian one. And then I also shopped my mom's stash. I wasn't shopping there. She was showing something, or she was showing yarn that she is planning to use on the Tankar Tee, and then she was pulling out this black alpaca yarn. It's 100% alpaca. Oop. It's black, and she had bought it for a project that didn't happen. She had 4 or 5 balls of this, and I've been really wanting to have a vest, and I think Mega from Skeins of Dreams and Mel from Mel Makes Stuff, they both made that vest. What's the name for it? Burgos, probably. It could be. So I was thinking of making a vest for work because our uniform is black uniform. You can wear your own clothes and they just have to be black. So I've been wanting to have a vest, and I think that Burgos vest is something that I'm interested in making, because it has buttons, then you can leave it open for a hip. It feels like going back to the 90s when the vests were without button plackets and they were just open. Anyway, yeah, so I'm planning on holding this double. I have enough metrics, I have already checked. So holding this double for a short little buttoned vest. So yeah, that's also in my near future. I think now would be a good time to make this because it's black and it's hard to see. So during the lighter season, I'm definitely going to be casting this one on. But I'm trying to work on my summer projects first, at least the Tankar Tee, which is the second sample, and another one for myself. So this will have to wait for a little bit, but you never know with me. You can see a change in my plans whenever. but I think that was everything what I have had for you today. Yeah, I already mentioned all the life stuff that I needed to say, and yeah, I will update you on the trip, and there's low battery on my phone blinking here, but yeah, never mind. But I will I will talk to you in a couple of weeks time, and I hope you have happy times. Wow, it has been a day, but I'm glad you stayed until the end, and I'm glad that you stuck with me and you keep coming back watching my episodes. It really truly means a lot to me. So thank you for being there. It really makes my day to read all of your comments and your nice words, and that's the main thing that I that keeps me podcasting, because the community is just so great. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. That will help me to get more views on YouTube. YouTube knows then to show this to more people, so it will always help. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.